𝗏𝗏𝗪 wants you to think he's a victim. But what he actually is a grifter who figured out you can say something controversial on CNN and pave your way right into the right-wing media machine, right into that Trump media machine. This isn't rebellion, not even close. This is branding. And it's a really important thing to look at to see how it ties into people like Cenk Uygur, these people wanting to play both sides of the media fence, while simultaneously pretending like the culture war is coming straight from the Democrats. And we all know culture war is 100% MAGA. They say they're defending free speech, but what they're really defending is their paycheck. And when we get to the end of this thing, you're gonna see how it really ties in to the MAGA fake culture war and the reality of what people actually experience in America. This one is a doozy. Let's get into it.
My name is 𝗏𝗏𝗪. We host, Buck Sexton and I do the biggest radio show basically in the country, 550 AM FM stations, all 50 states.
Dude, it's 𝗏𝗏𝗪. This guy has some of the worst takes out there, doesn't he? Oh my God, he's the OutKick guy. Yes, dude, no, this guy is so bad.
I run OutKick.com, founded it, sold it to Fox in 2021. I am banned on ESPN and CNN. Some of you probably have seen the clip. In 2017, I went on CNN to defend free speech. There was a controversy over an ESPN commentator named Jemele Hill called President Trump a white supremacist, and the question was, should ESPN take action against her in the first Trump term? I went on to say no, that they should not, that everybody should have the right, especially not on the airwaves, to say whatever they think.
Dude, Trump is a white supremacist, though. Like, why was that even controversial?
Whether I agreed or disagreed with it. And I said that I believed in only two things completely. The First Amendment, which is something that I think most people here on the panel and most of you in this audience, most of you on YouTube would theoretically support, and boobs, which is a clip that went viral because the female host was very offended that I would say that. And she immediately demanded an on-air apology. And to the point, it was the #1 story in America in 2017. And they tried to cancel me and say that I couldn't have opinions on.
Dude, I never heard about that. Like, this guy is so full of himself for that viral moment.
Sports, because I had the audacity to say that on television.
Dude, it's like a bunch of rich white guys crying about how hard their life is that they've been canceled, right? A bunch of rich white guys that are fucking rich as fuck and immune to any real circumstances. They all got millions of followers, and they're all like, oh my gosh, I'm so like beat up.
And stand behind it.
I've
been saying it for years.
And that had absolutely nothing to do with sports. And they said, look, you can't have this opinion. It's too conservative. We're not going to allow it. I think that's a bad move. I'm a First Amendment absolutist. I believe in only two things completely, the First Amendment and boobs. And so once they made the decision that they were not going to allow a conservative, non-sports related commentary, they couldn't do it.
Hold on. I just want to make sure I heard you correctly as a woman anchoring the show. Did you say, what did you just say? You believe in the First Amendment and BWBS?
Boobs. Two things that have only never let me down in this entire country's history, the First Amendment and boobs. So those are the...
See, now the crazy shit, right, is like a female host. I mean, I don't know what his point was there. I understand why she's bothered by it. Okay, that like she brings him on to talk about the white supremacist remark about Trump, and then he comes in and he says some skeezy sort of Trumpian thing, right? Like he could have said, I believe in the First Amendment and grabbing chicks by the pussy, right? You know what I mean? But like he brings it in there for no reason whatsoever.
The only two things I believe in absolutely in the country. And so I don't think Jemele Hill should...
And it's like mocking too, because really, like, you believe in boobs. But basically what he was saying is, I believe in two things: the First Amendment, the free speech, and the right to just objectify women. And like in my little Trumpian sort of right-wing way, you know, I understand why she's fucking pissed.
But I do think straight up that once you make the decision that you are going to let 𝗙𝗪𝗓 go, that you have to also make the decision that you're going to let Jemele Hill go. I think that's a bad decision. I think ESPN has made bad decisions that have led to 13 million subscribers bailing on the network. They've made bad decisions that have led to ratings collapsing. Jemele Hill's television show is collapsing. Ratings were down 20% last week over last year. I think that's why she's angry. I think that's why she went after Donald Trump. She's begging for ESPN to fire her so she can work somewhere else.
Okay. Keith, what do you think?
Listen, I'm astonished at almost everything I just heard. One of the things that, and Jemele's a personal friend, not just a colleague, but a personal friend. One of the things that Jemele's had to deal with her entire career, and many women who I'm friends with in this business and have been friends with in this business for a long time, is sexism, blatant sexism, comments about her appearance, comments about her racially, comments about her inability or perceived inability to be able to comment on sports because of her gender. So for somebody to come on CNN and to say something like, the only thing I believe in a discussion about something,
I'm still there too, and I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. BOOZE or BOOBS? Because as a woman, I'm
as in boobs. I believe completely in the First Amendment and in boobs. Those are the only two things I believe 100% in this country. And by the way,
see, again, like that statement, like, dude, that statement is so mocking and fucking asinine, right? And he's now like, oh, I mean, he did this on purpose. This was like, he was doing this to establish himself firmly in the Trumpist world, right? Think about it. Think about how Trump probably loved this. I bet Trump loved this. He was literally like licking Trump's ass right here and trying to 100% grift, like recognizing Trump had to grab him by the pussy. He's so sexist, such a degenerate, right? And he's nasty to women with women reporters. You saw him in that first turn. And this guy right here is like, I'm going to derail the whole conversation. I'm going to derail the whole thing, and I'm going to turn this thing about like Jemele Hill calling Trump out for being a white supremacist, and I'm going to create a piece of content in just literally bowing down before Donald Trump, making a mockery of the whole thing, knowing that it was going to just, get him instantaneously into that right-wing money set. It was like a calculated move. But like, he's not even being serious. He's just being a fucking juvenile. Like, there's no real conviction there, right? He's like just desperately fucking sucking on the Trump knob right there. What a fucking weirdo. What a loser.
Because if you say you're a First Amendment absolutist, it kind of goes over everybody's head. They don't understand it. When you pair it with boobs, it makes people pay attention. And so it was a phrase that immediately drew that attention. And also then when you try to censor it, it draws even more attention, went viral. And that's probably one reason that I'm here today. But a lot of you are college aged. And what I would challenge you, and I would challenge you certainly everybody who's watching us right now on YouTube, because you're probably skewing much younger than anywhere else, be open to the idea that you're wrong. It's something that I think is the single most important thing that an intelligent person in America and around the world.
And I bet he considers himself an intelligent person, right? Oh, yeah, okay, sure.
Today can acknowledge. Be open to the idea that you could be wrong about something.
Yeah, be open to the idea that you could be wrong about something, but he's not going to take that advice right here, right? Right? He's going to be, oh, why are you so offended? I'm not wrong. I'm just a free speecher. I'm just fucking, smooching ass for Donald Trump over here. Be open to the idea that right-wingers are easy to grift from.
If they can attack the underlying concept as racist, as sexist, as homophobic, as transphobic, they don't actually have to go to the essence of the argument.
See, this line of thinking is super problematic, right? Did you see what he just said there? He said, if you call out something for being racist, homophobic, transphobic, or sexist, then you don't have to go to the essence of the argument. So what he's saying is that anytime you call out racism, transphobia, homophobia, sexism, you're avoiding the essence. Okay? He's basically saying that there's no way to call people out on those things while being substantive. All of that is just a smokescreen, when there might certainly be times where people are trying to use whatever as a smokescreen, but you can absolutely call out transphobia, racism, and homophobia and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You absolutely should be able to call that shit out.
Which is why I would challenge all of you. I think this is so incredibly important. I give credit to the University of Chicago and every institution out there that is actually committed to the idea that people can disagree, and that something that someone might say might challenge your delicate emotions or make you a little bit uncomfortable. I would submit to you that almost the entire purpose of going to a university in this day and age is to be uncomfortable with ideas, to challenge the ideas that you entered with.
See, hold on. I want to listen to this little thing because look at what he says here. Hold on. This is interesting.
In every institution out there that is actually committed to the idea that people can disagree, and that something that someone might say might challenge your delicate emotions or make you a little bit uncomfortable.
That's something someone might say. He's basically saying, hey guys, it's really important that something someone might say might make you uncomfortable, and you just got to be okay with that. But like, this guy is a MAGA person, okay? This guy is a firmly Trumpian MAGA person. How can he sit on that stage and say like, hey guys, I really believe it's important that if something, whereas like, okay, when I point out something you said was racist, okay, that made you uncomfortable, right? Right? So, all right. I thought that was a good thing. Right? If I point out you being transphobic and it makes you uncomfortable, you're saying that's a good thing, that you should engage with that. Oh, yeah, you're feeling uncomfortable being called out for being transphobic. So now you're going to engage with that, right? But, no, it does not seem like it actually works that way. He's more like, no, if I say something sexist about your boobs, you're supposed to you're supposed to deal with your uncomfortable feeling. But if you call him out for transphobia, you're avoiding the essence of the argument, right? You see that? Like, he is like applying this worldview of, when I make you uncomfortable, that's a good thing. You should encourage that. But man, you cannot call me out on anything. I mean, the irony is how he and Cenk Uygur are like literally cut from the same cloth. But that's really fascinating that, challenging his delicate emotions around racism, transphobia, homophobia, and sexism is not okay, right? I think that society has changed, okay? Society has changed, where sexism was just an accepted part of society. Whereas like now, sexism is very different. And it's not even that recent. In the 90s, guys, I had a restaurant job where the manager used to go up and some of the waitresses, you ready? Let me paint a picture for you guys. This is 1998, okay? 1998. We're talking during Clinton's administration. A waitress would be at her screen typing in an order. The manager would go up and press his entire body next to that waitress and put both arms around her and be like, how are you doing? And like talk into her ear. Nobody said anything, guys. Okay, nobody said anything. One time this guy actually licked the waitress's neck. Okay? Nobody said anything, guys. Now, eventually, I got into it with that manager, and eventually I sold him out, and he got fired. Okay, but for the majority of the 90s, that type of behavior, men, and it was like, we're not even talking like in the back. He's in the restaurant. Tables can see the guy doing this. Nobody said anything. That was tolerated workplace behavior in 1998. Okay, you do that now, and you're getting fucking sued, motherfucker, as you should. Like the fact that we tolerated that shit in 98, man, not cool. Okay, now what's interesting about it is the fact that this talking about broad enforcement of sexual harassment. Like, dude, I don't know, man. I feel like we still have a ways to go. Like, maybe we're still gonna fucking crank on this shit. But you know what I'm saying? Just kind of grew up where that was just run-of-the-mill shit. You know what I mean? What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. You like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.